up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zoo in November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for Dan Messes Up intros.
Oh, no.
It is Hump Day. That means it's time for the Hump Day happy hour.
Shenanigans.
What happens when you let a shenanigan guy roll the intro? You get 2 intros played. Anyway, let's give a shout out to the awesome Patreons, which Dan is one of them, so we won't give him too hard of a time. But these guys are awesome, and most of them can roll an intro right, but not all of them. But they're still all awesome. I appreciate each and every one of them, and because they keep me rocking and rolling in the gasoline and keep me activating parks everywhere. So thank you guys very much. Next, we're going to move along to the Q2 finals. This is the final for last quarter. I didn't get it posted on Sunday because I was on a trip. Still ended up being on a trip, but I did get this done for you. So these 10 people will be in the drawing hopefully next week or the week after. The prizes are done secured. So hopefully no trips will come up next week, and I'll just do it next week. And that will be done live on Twitter as always. And then for the third quarter, Kilo 8 Golf go back off to a fine start with the lead. Did want to thank Kilo 9er Alpha Echo Echo and Kilo 8 Golf go back with off-stream chats as well. So thank you guys very much. What's going on, Dan?
I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Caught him banging in the shower.
All I heard was James saying, "Why ain't it starting? Why ain't it starting?" I said, "Hold on, I'm going to try it."
I'm going to do like Shaggy and just say it wasn't me.
Oh, what's been going on with you, Dan?
Not a lot, man. Hunting 13 colonies and a little bit of success doing that, and playing Poda. And had a great fourth. Didn't do much of anything. Just relaxed. My neighbors lit up the sky. So, yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Hayden, what about yourself? How you doing?
Oh, doing good. We're on vacation this week. We're up in West Virginia, so I've been playing a lot of radio. I got a new hotspot so that I have some reliable internet up here. So some of you may notice that I'm not chopping like I normally do when I'm in West Virginia. And working through the 13 colonies event, I just need France and hunting a lot of Poda stations.
Awesome. Good stuff. And I myself want to apologize for my camera and bad audio because I am on the road once again. Had a unforeseen trip come up. If you guys believe in prayers and stuff like that, please say a prayer for my friend's family. They're losing their mom. She's getting ready to pass at any time now. So had to take them out of town, but we are still here. We're still live. And even though I've been at the hospital all day, I did sneak out and get a Poda in. I'm still in the baby spot, and I made sure that each one of the people that is in the PZN challenge is still in the PZN challenge. I made sure and got every one of them. So, Ed, thank you very much for becoming a member. Ed's got a cool new green writing, and why do I feel like you were a member before? I can't remember, but if you wasn't a member before, Dan's already probably working on getting your stuff set up to where you can come into Patreon after chat. I'm not sure how long I will be in the after chat tonight, but I will be there for a little bit. I appreciate you. New YouTube members and Patreons have access to that Patreon after chat. And if you would like to become a Patreon and try it out for free, you can head over to Patreon and sign up for the top hunter or the top activator and get a 7-day free trial, and you can get access as well. So anyway, I have not got to hunt very many of the 13 colonies due to my trip last weekend and then this trip. I'd have had quite a few, but I'm nowhere near the sweep yet. Hopefully, I'll get home in time before it's over, but we're just going to have to play that by ear because I'm definitely down here tomorrow and probably part of the day Friday before I head back. So, but anyway, if you're looking for some South Carolina parks in this area, I'm going to be doing a couple of them. Not very many because I got to spend most of the time at the hospital, but I'm getting my park a day at least, and maybe more. We'll just have to see how things go.
Regardless, I'll send you some clicks.
You'll send me some clicks.
Yeah,
I don't have nothing to click.
I don't know.
I have nothing.
I don't know why my CW was clicking.
Oh, I thought you were saying I was clicking the pin.
No, click. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that was a thing. That was really weird because, first off, the bands were horrible when I went out because, what time of day do I think is the best time for me to go out? About 1:30 when the bands are totally destroyed and dead.
Absolutely.
Because I don't have my Wolf River. I don't have my Eagle One to destroy the bands back. So I got to use a lesser antenna and do it when the bands are at its worst, just to prove I'm worthy, I guess. But sideband, I really didn't have that much of a problem. I didn't get a whole lot of contacts, but I got way over the activation. But for some reason, which is weird, because normally CW will make the activation if the bands are bad. But I couldn't hardly hear anybody on CW. I think I got the Pearsons, Terry, and I got Dan. And Dan was just a lot of work because for some reason it just sounded like me clicking my pen or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. I don't know if it was something weird with my remote software or what, because I was at work running my radio here at the house through the remote. So
that explains why you sounded so weird on sideband.
Yeah,
you did not sound like me. You didn't have your James voice.
I don't have that nice high microphone on the remote.
That nice high microphone that Hal personally programmed with my voice.
That's right. That's right.
It's funny. We were down in Orlando, and I swear he hits his voice recording, and I swear it was me on his voice recording saying his call sign.
We should just record each other's. Let's do that up in Huntsville. We should just record each other's and then just run it the whole year and see if anybody notices. That's what I need to do. I need to have somebody totally. I know who I need to get to do mine, and I might can make that happen. Record my CQ, and it would really just blow some minds. Especially Eddie's. It would blow Eddie's the most. Oh, yes. That would be a great one.
That would definitely be a good one. Yeah. So anyway, Hayden is definitely diligently watching the chat because tonight it's all about you guys because I've had my matter of fact, I'm going on absolutely zero sleep right now because of driving down here and stuff. Thank you very much, Mr. Kapow, for the super sticker. Let me tell you something.
Oh, I got too many mice.
You kind of froze there, James, but I will say it is a nice pose.
I was going to say, did we lose him?
Am I here?
Yeah, you're back now. You're back now.
Okay. Anyway, my apologies, guys. This ain't my internet, but I was going to say I had went to hopping mode. I was going to go from sideband to CW, and I hadn't even hooked up my key yet. So I was getting my key and stuff out of the bag, and it had been like a minute and something since I'd put hopping on the thing, and all of a sudden I hear this beautiful, beautiful signal. And here comes Charlie Golf Charlie, Whiskey Zero Charlie Golf Charlie with a big 5'9" Kapow. And let me tell you, son, I had to work the guy. He gave me my best signal of the day. So I appreciate that contact.
Did he knock the soul out of you?
You know, not this time. He did knock the soul out of me in Lake Norman. I did pick it up on my way down to South Carolina. I found it hitchhiking on the side of the road, so I did get my soul back.
Nice.
So I do have a soul again, guys. But
Smell like peanut butter.
Was your soul wearing short shorts?
Speedos. Same thing they was wearing when I lost it. Duh.
Yeah. Good point.
But anyway, tonight is about your all's questions, your all's comments, your all's complaints. I don't care. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we're going to talk about. I already have one thing that I've been asked to discuss, and the person does not want their name involved in it. So, as a disclaimer, before we go on talking about questions and stuff, any questions that I read or that's from anybody else is not the opinion of the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. You will probably hear my opinion on the topic after I answer the question, but the question itself is not my opinion. All right, so what's that? I can't hardly see. What's this question here?
Brent,
oh, not a question.
Brent says, not a question, but remember this month is Support Your Parks month for Poda, and it's later on down. He says it's the third weekend in July. So
that is absolutely correct. So it is Support Your Parks weekend coming up, not to be confused with the thing we just had, which was the Black weekend. They used to be together, but they are no longer together. So, but the good news about that is we're a day and a half away from getting the results on that thing, supposedly. So we're looking to celebrate Dan taking a bunch of plaques home, I believe.
Support Your Parks weekend is July 15th and 16th. Is that correct, Larry? If so, that kind of sucks for me because that's when I'm doing that's when I leave to go on my rove.
Is the 15th and 16th the third weekend?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
okay.
I mean that's when I leave to start my rove. I hope I can find a spot on the.
It's not like it's a competition. It's you gotta hunt a park or activate a park, and you're in.
Oh yeah.
So it's just about supporting the parks. So Bruce's question is, what is the best way to determine the ID of parks? I need to sweep in several states. Are you talking about parks that you need to sweep the state?
The parks he needs to get a work call in that
okay, state. If that is your question, I'm going to bring this up to where I'm telling you exactly right, because I don't want to tell you to go to the wrong place.
Later in the chat, he says yes, so that's what he's wanting to know.
All right. So you will go to the Poda page, and you'll click on your little hamburger list, and you will go to right underneath map. There's a thing that says park list. You will scroll down to whatever state you want. So I'm going to scroll down to, you know what? Let me just share my screen and show this all the way through. That way we get it here. We'll do it that way. We'll learn by showing. All right. Present.
Just keep in mind this is not shenanigans.
This is oh God.
Show and tell.
Show and tell. This is how peanut butter is made.
Larry, you might already have the park that I'm planning on getting.
All right. So do I have? Is it up? Because I can't see. I'm on the actual Poda page now.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to go over here to the corner. We're going to click on our little hamburger. We're going to go right down below maps and click park list. Then we're going to pick what state we want. I'm going to go down here and pick one that I'm working on. And of course I can't find it. Should be right there, but all right. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm clicking on Kentucky, and when it loads, it's going to show me all the parks that are in Kentucky. But if you'll look over here, you'll see my activations and my hunted QSOs. So it shows that I've worked this park, I've activated this park, I have not hunted it. So I would need to hunt that park if I'm going for a sweep. And I can scroll down and see, like this one right here, I've still got to activate and hunt. This one right here, I've got to activate and hunt. And that, in my opinion, is the best way for you to find out exactly which ones you want to do, Bruce. Hopefully that answers your question.
Nice.
All right.
Today I learned. The more you
Today you learned. All right, what's my next question?
Eric had one.
Eric has a question. How do you feel about Poda waffling back and forth about the plaque event being a contest or not? The official Poda plaque results page says contest results to be announced Friday. I don't think
so
they're
this
back and forth.
This is my opinion, and Hayden's. Hayden, you know what? Go ahead and give your opinion, then I'll give mine.
Well, I think they created the plaque event to be a contest outside of the normal Poda activities. I mean, the plaque event has always been something special to participate in and win plaques. So they've just separated it from normal Poda operations and made it a contest. The regular Poda overall isn't a contest at all. It's an exercise in field operations. That's just my opinion. You know what they say about that. Over to you, James.
All right. Dan, you got an opinion on
it? I don't think they've ever called it not a contest. I know we joke around a lot and say contest.
No. They label Poda as not a contest.
No. Well, the question is specifically about the plaque event.
Oh, the plaque event?
Yeah, so I don't think they've ever called the plaque event not a contest.
Actually, they have. They used to say it's not a contest because they would use the work bands and stuff.
For the old plaque event, not this new one.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think
I think that's what he's talking about, and I could be wrong, but I think that's what he's talking about. Is that they're going back and forth. Poda's not a contest, but then they're giving the contest results this week. And if that's what he's talking about, and he can clarify if it's not, my opinion is I don't like it because I love the plaque event. I love the way they did the plaque event. I love the way they're trying to make it more fair than it has been in the past. But I wish it was still just the plaque event, not a one time a year contest, because I think it's going to bring negativity to us every time we go to the work bands. I know you guys run a contest. You're a contestant, and I think it's going to.
I thought the plaque event you weren't allowed to use the work bands.
You wasn't.
This plaque event. Okay.
You wasn't. You're right. You wasn't. But they're going to start saying Poda was a contest because they're doing contests now. You know how the vids are.
Yeah, I know how they are.
I think they just need to leave it all as not a contest. Yeah. They can run rules for the plaque event, but not label it as a contest. Which means don't take the work band from it. All right, what we got?
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything else yet. Sandy
Lima Bravo India
wants to let everybody know to hit that like button. Thank you, Sandy.
And Larry, Lima Bravo India said they should just call it an event.
There you go, an event, the plaque event, and be done.
Yep.
But, you know, that's my opinion. All right, so if we don't have any questions come in, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the one that I got emailed to me. So somebody would like me to talk about their opinion of the Poda Facebook page has really been going downhill majorly. Specifically, you got a bunch of the old timers that are starting to be like the 80-meter people, and every time a newbie puts in something stupid, which again, they do put in things that are stupid, but every time they do, the old people just come with really smart, dumb answers and blah, 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 blah. And then on the other hand, you've got the new people who don't bother to read the rules that get in here and ask the same dumb questions that's been asked 500 times. So
I've noticed lately they've been fairly light on moderation.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that they need to be a lot harder on the moderation, because although there are questions in there sometimes that just are absolutely stupid, and you can read the rules and figure this out. I mean, but again, they're new people, and you want to bring them into the sport. You don't have to be so hardcore, you know. Just say, you know, well, this answer could be answered by reading the rules, and then somebody lock the chat after that, you know, because just telling somebody they're ignorant and going on and on and on, it's just. And then you get to the ones where you get to people that are just arguing back and forth. So, for example, like the one somebody asked, should you ask permission to activate a park from the park ranger? And, you know, that depends on a lot of things. I'm more to say ask for forgiveness than permission on that matter, because if you get some dumb retard guy like was in Tennessee one time that thinks he come from a long line of law enforcement, but really it was just his daddy telling him what to do. He's going to tell you, no, you got to have a permit and you got to have all this crazy stuff, when really it's not even the case. I have been to way over 500 unique parks. I have never, ever asked permission to activate a park. I have never been ran off other than the one time in Tennessee, and then another time because the park was closing. But
there's some weird comments on that one about asking for permission. That's for sure. So.
But, you know, the simple matter is they could have just told the guy either yes or no. Either they didn't have to go on and on and on about how, and then it goes like, you know, 400 pages long.
Yeah.
But, you know, in my opinion.
But then again,
go ahead.
But then again,
so,
you're the activator. You run your activation how you want. If you want to have permission, go ahead.
If you feel like if you feel like it should be done, go ask them. You know, if you want to, say you want to hang a specific antenna that might not be able to do in that park, and you feel like maybe I should ask them, go ask them. But chances are I'm going to be activated and done by the time you find the right person you got to talk to.
One person's reply was, yesterday we celebrated our freedom. Free people don't ask for permission. So I asked if he had a driver's license.
But
I mean,
Mike, thank you very much for the super chat. But the thing is, the Poda page has really started to go downhill, and it's everybody's fault. It's the old curmudgeony people that think we know it all.
that's a good word.
I'm probably one of them old curmudgeony people that think I know it all too. But you don't know how many times I read some really dumb stuff in there, and I just don't comment because I can't say something. I can't just give a nice answer, so I just don't comment.
I bite my tongue a lot.
Now,
well, that's with any group on Facebook. They all got their 80-meter lids, whether it's ham radio group or not. But what you got to ask yourself when somebody does something like that: are you going to be an Elmer and help them out, or are you going to be a lid?
That's exactly right. That's my opinion on it. Try to help the new people out. If the same guy's asking the same dumb question 10 times, tell him he's stupid and go on. But we got to try to keep people in the hobby. And I've always said, when I first got my general license, and I would go on and I would say stroke alpha golf to make a contact, and you'd have these vids coming right. You don't got to say stroke alpha golf. We can look it up and see you just got your license. Well, you know what?
No, they can't.
The FCC tells me I do got to say it, and no, you really can't just look it up, because that's why I'm saying stroke alpha golf, because I can't see it yet.
Thank you. Exactly. I had one guy email me when I first got my general. Dude emailed me and said, "You can't be." I was running FT8 on 20 meters, and he emailed me and said, "You can't run FT8 on 20 meters as a technician." And so I replied back, "I know." And he goes, "Well, you're a technician." I said, "No, I'm not." He goes, "Well, QRZ says you there." And I said, "Well, I'm glad QRZ is not the official damn database." The good thing about the Facebook lids that comment, they're very consistent. So if you hang around for a while, you will realize who they are very quickly. So.
And some of them have an excuse, like say somebody who's not active in Poda for the last 2 years, get on there and wants to act like they're the god of a state, maybe it's time for the vids to come out sometimes.
Yeah, But they're active in other facets of ham radio.
All right, what we got coming in here?
Brent says Poda is confusing when you first get into it, and I agree with that. And we are all, I just switched, in that newbie shoes when we start. Have some patience with them until they ask for the 5th time anyway.
Absolutely.
Right.
And if you think Poda's bad about navigating and finding stuff and rules and stuff like that, go hang out on the Soda Facebook page.
So this is my be all end all answer for the thing. The vids are not going to have nothing to fuss about. If all these newbies, instead of asking their questions on the Facebook page where they're going to get crucified, just join my Discord chat and come over there and ask the stupid questions. And then I'll probably message you personally and tell you, "Hey man, you're being really silly. Watch my channel a whole lot more and you're going to learn this stuff." Not for real. We got a great Poda community over on the Discord, and it's free to join. And you might get a curmudgeon answer in there, but it's probably somebody joking. It's not going to be somebody just being a smart butt for no reason.
And if you see me reply, just ignore it. I'm kind of crazy. Eric has a good one here. An observation I made is that a lot of people have been blaming poor band conditions for their failures, even when the bands are fine. It's a cop-out for not figuring out why they really failed. Sometimes 40 and 20 meters are just suck, but try 15 Try 17. Try 12.
All right. And so listen, I hate bad band conditions. I went out today and the band conditions were horrible. But you know what? I got the activation done. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to knock on wood here, I've never failed an activation. And that's because I refuse to fail an activation. There's many ways to get a park activated. And if you sit around and figure out enough ways, you can get a park activated very easy. You don't got to just call CQ until you're blue in the face. You can go hunt some stations. You can, you know what I'm saying? You can scroll the dial and find your own people. You can hook up a cable, and if you got to do FT8, you know, yeah, we all know that I'm not going to do that. I'm going to figure out another way. But you can do it. I have done it when I was a beginner.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of ways to do it, and you can figure out, well, why is these signals coming in really strong to me, but I'm not getting out to them good. You've probably got some sort of issue, and you need to figure that out. And most of them is, you know, there's a guy that once told me that he called CQ for 45 minutes and didn't make a single contact. There's probably something wrong. I can't call CQ for 45 minutes because I'm going to get bored. I'm going to figure out another way to do this activation. But, you know, if you've called CQ for over 15 minutes and you ain't got nothing, I'm going to tell you there's something wrong. Or you're running QRP, which means there's something wrong. You're not running enough power.
Yeah. I've never gotten less than, 10 or 12 during activations, and I refuse to quote unquote fail an activation, just like you. But there was a discussion not long ago on the aforementioned Facebook group about the wording of that. I think they shouldn't call them failed activations, maybe incomplete activations, because every time you go out, even if you don't get any contacts, you've learned something. So it's not a failure per se. It's just you can do it better next time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're going to figure out many ways to do it. That's like, for example, when I do go out QRP, I typically I'm in a park, but I typically went for a hike. So I've got my little QRP radio with me, but I've got my 100-watt radio in the car, and I've got my Eagle 1 sitting there in the car, and I can go back to the car and still be in that park and finish that activation if I need to. Typically, I've done finished it on QRP, but I still heard people down on my noise, and I wanted them, so I'll go back and hook up the radio. But you can figure it out. It's. I agree with Eric. Don't blame the bands on everything. Yeah, I know the bands have sucked now for a couple of months. They're not where they are supposed to be, but there's stuff that's open. There's stuff everywhere.
That's another good point you just made too. You don't always learn from failure, because if you make excuses rather than trying to figure out what you did wrong, you basically failed twice.
There you go.
Figure out what went wrong and fix it for next time. So it's like people always say, practice makes perfect. That's not necessarily the truth, because if you practice wrong, you're going to learn wrong, and it's not going to be perfect.
Except for CW, practice makes perfect in CW.
Only if you're practicing the letters correctly.
Give me 1 second, guys. You guys continue with the questions here.
Yeah, sure, no problem. 40 meters was good this morning until about 11 o'clock. And then it kind of took a nosedive. But that's pretty much every day, because when the sun starts coming up, the delayer absorbs all your 40 meter signals. So that's to be expected during the day.
Is that where it goes real short?
Yeah, it'll go really short during the day because of the good old delayer in the atmosphere.
All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that.
I see Mom join the chat. Hi, Mom.
Did mom pop in? About time. Maybe Maybe we'll see some Chipotle and ice cream in the after chat tonight.
The surefire way never to. I'm just going to start calling it an incomplete activation because I don't like the term failed activation. The surefire way not to have an incomplete activation is to say, "Please copy." Guaranteed. CQ Park's on the air. CQ Park's on the air. Please copy. Whiskey Delta 4 Delta Alpha.
If you have more than 5 failed activations and you're using the same setup, change your setup.
Yeah.
If you're using multiple setups, find out what's working where and take multiple things with you. Figure out what's working for you, because you shouldn't. There's no way you should. Now I get it. If you go out and your radio just blows up, you're gonna have an incomplete activation.
I got to.
Unless you got another radio in the car, which I do. But that's right. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. But a lot of people don't have a second radio in the car. But I mean, if you go out and your coax messed up, you should have another coax. If you go out and your microphone messed up, you should have another microphone.
I'm kind of screwed on that one. If my microphone messes up, I got digital. Yeah. Well, no. Well, I got an 891 that stays in the truck mounted. So yeah, I have a separate microphone, and I have at least 2 keys with me. So yeah.
Well. See, here's the thing. I have 2 radios with me, so I've got 2 mics. They're interchangeable with all my radios that I take in the field are Yaesu, so they're all interchangeable. So I'm good.
I normally go out.
If you're not starting your activation out with an Eagle One antenna, you should probably look into that.
Good point.
That's the last antenna I've bought.
Yeah.
I've been using that thing for a year and a half now, and I don't need another antenna.
And if something happens to my Eagle One, I got a big old Apache case that I just leave thrown in the back of the truck that has a slew of wire antennas in it. I mean, I'll get on the air, one way or the other. I mean, if I got to be like Golf Alpha Romeo and load up a ladder or a fence post or something, I'm going to get on the air.
That would be Golf Alpha Reese Cup, but whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, what other questions we got coming in? Anything? This is pretty cool. I like answering questions for a change.
There's some more questions in the chat, everybody.
A lot of people only run 20 and 40 meters.
I think even though I don't see it in the chat, my infrared vision sees a question. Where can you find all the links to the Ham Radio Adventure Guy social media? You can go into the description and click on that new Linktree account, and you can go to the Ham Radio Adventure Guy Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Buy me a coffee, you name it. You can go right there on one link. So, if that question was there, I'm pretty sure I saw it, and maybe it wasn't out of my head. Oh, big silence from the chat. That's because they're all over on Linktree now. Like, oh, this is cool.
And if you can't find it in the comments, I just put it in the chat.
Chris, is that you want to know the easiest way to log a fur on N3FJP as a hunter? I guess if you're activating and somebody calls you and they're in a fur, you're basically a hunter at that time too. Okay. Yeah, I got you. So you would enter the first one. In the SIG info field, you would put their park number and then hit enter to log that contact, and then hit Alt R, and that'll recall the last contact, and then just change their park number and hit enter again. So log it, hit Alt R, change the park number, hit enter again. That's the same as going up to the top and pressing that recall button.
So the way that I like to do it is very similar, but if you're in a really heated pileup, you don't really have time to fill out all them park numbers. So I will say Dan's in a threefer. I'll work Dan. I'll get the first park number into SIG info, and I'll put the second two parks down here in the comments. Then I'll go up here and I'll do the recall, and I'll do that recall 2 more times. That way it pops back up, and it'll put those comments right there on every one of those, and then you can just go back at the end of your activation and put those park numbers in, and whatever else you need to, and delete them from the comments. That's if you're in a more of a hurry. If nobody else is calling it Dan's way, it is absolutely perfect. It works fine.
Now he says an activator log if he's in a fur. So you just log him under just one park number is all you can do. So log them under, one park number, save that ADIF, and then make a copy of it, bring it into like an ADIF master program, and just do a search and replace for the park number and change it to the other park number in your fur. Then save that. That way you'll have 2 logs and upload
it. He was saying with N3FJP, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you an easier way to do it than that. That way you don't have to pull up your ADIF master. So you do your log. Let's say I'm in kilo 4572 and kilo 1823. So I do my whole log in kilo 4572, and I save it. Once I save it, I go ahead and create an 1823 log. I import 4572 over to the 1823 log, and I do bulk edit.
Bulk edit, yeah.
Change the 1823 or the 4572 to 1823, and then I save it as 1823, and I got the 2 logs.
That makes sense.
So 2 different ways for you to do it. Did you say you had an easier way, Hayden?
Hammers. Yes, it's called download hammers, and then just put a comma in there with the marks, and it does it automatically for you.
No, you can't do that as an activator. You can do it as a hunter. You can put the park numbers in their park.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, as an activator, you can duplicate logs like that. And
same thing. Yeah.
So it's the same. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you lose your log, blame it on Hayden.
Now, Chris is a member of
lost the log in hammers.
Yeah. Now, Chris is a member of our Discord, so obviously, if you need help after you do your twofer, hop on chat, and we'll help you get your log straight. Not a problem. But.
Now, we had a question from the Aussie Soda Ops. Let me get that up here. When you guys, the question was, when you guys use resonant antennas, do you pre-tune them or do you tune them in the field? What do you prefer?
I myself pre-tune.
Yeah, I tune them at the house, and I try to get my setup approximately the same way out in the field. Let's say if I tune an antenna, and let's say I'm doing a sloper for like 20 meters. If it's, say, 40 feet, and then my coax end for the end fed is, say, 4 feet above the ground, and that's the way I tune it at the house, I try to duplicate that out in the field. Then I can always touch it up with an internal tuner if I have to.
So
I think
I would, if I'm doing QRP, I would 100% agree with that. And I would also suggest on the QRP running a 64-to-1 twist instead of a 49, because it's going to be even more tolerant. But if I'm running QRO, I'm running a 49-to-1, and as long as it's 7 or 8 feet, in the general direction of height, and a couple feet at the bottom, it's going to be close enough for an activation.
Yeah.
Larry has a question about the Wolf River Coil.
Let me get this on radials because this really grinds my gears. If you want to get me on a tirade, start talking about radials. All right, here we go. If you have ground mounted radials, which means if your radials are physically in contact with the ground, it doesn't matter how long they are. What matters is the amount of copper you have touching the ground. When you get into elevated radials, it's a different ballgame. Now you have to tune your radials, and it matters how long they are. Period. End of story. I'm more than willing to debate all day long about this.
I'll debate it with you because it's 100% right. I don't care if your Wolf River Coils has 333 foot radials or if it has 33 1 foot radials. It's going to be the same. But the second you go putting them in the air, they've got to be the right length for where you're at. Yep. AKA the Buddy Stick Pro. If you've used a Buddy Stick Pro, you know that just a quarter of a turn either way can cause a big difference.
That's why you've seen Michael, KB9 VBR, and other people use the metal window screen ground planes, for their radials, and it works so well because that's a lot of material on the ground. It doesn't have to go far out. It's just the amount of material for ground mounted radials. But if you elevate your radial, that's a totally different ballgame.
Larry says, been waiting for someone to say that. Confirms what I've been thinking.
And I have tested that myself personally too. So
then now the argument about what's better, elevated or ground radials, I mean, that's a 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other type of argument, if you ask me. A lot of people swear by elevated radials. A lot of people swear by ground radials. Whatever works best for you, run it. I can't argue with that.
I don't know which one would be better. I have used my Buddy Stick Pro. I use it quite a bit when I'm in Florida on 20 meters, and I destroy the world with the thing. Mm-hmm. On 20 meters, I can just kill the world with that thing. But then again, I've made plenty of contacts with the Wolf River Coil and the Sporty 40 with ground radials, so I can't say which one is better.
Like I say, I think it's all just really preference. I mean, if you like to have a tuned elevated radio, and that's what strokes your fancy, let it stroke your fancy. That's awesome.
If you want the best, right? If you want the absolute best radio, you get an Eagle One antenna with a Nissan Armada with some West Virginia rust on it, and you won't get a better radio than that thing right there.
Or a 30-foot camper.
Yeah, I mean that's what I use.
That is a Nissan Armada.
Yeah, 90% of the time on my activations, it's the Eagle One. It's basically an end-fed random wire vertical, and my counterpoise is the frame of my truck.
But this is why you take different antennas. Just like right now, I'm here in South Carolina. I do not have my Eagle One. I want to use my end-fed half wave. Got to a park today. There was absolutely nowhere I could put up my end-fed half wave. Yeah, if I had some straps, I could have probably strapped the pole to something, maybe. But it just wasn't really feasible. So I had to throw out another antenna. You got to have multiple antennas with you. Antennas for different situations. Well, I got a question there, or we didn't answer that one.
No. Yeah, Aussie Soda Ops asks, I just started learning Morse code, hoping to increase my options for soda contacts. Do you think that will give me better chances for successful activations?
Absolutely. I'm going to tell you by experience.
100%.
Like, I just started doing CW December 31st of last year was my first activation, and I've did it every single day since. I've got, I don't know how many I got down, 11,000 CW contacts this year.
I lost count. Hold on, I'll tell you. Keep talking.
But I can't tell you the days that I'm already activated doing CW before I even turn over to sideband. And a lot of that's spotting in my Discord.
But specific to his question, it will help your activation successes, because I've worked plenty of people CW, and then in the exact same part, they go over to sideband on the same band. Let's say 20 meter CW, I worked them and they were loud. Then they go over to sideband on 20 meters and I can barely hear them.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll help.
CW of 11,000.
And the best way to get good at CW, practice every single day. I can't say that enough. I started CW before, and I didn't practice every single day, and I wasn't getting nowhere, and that burnt me out, and I stopped. But this time around, I've done CW every day, and I just keep getting better. It's absolutely, because I film something at almost every activation I'm at. It may go straight to the trash, but I film something, and I will sit and just say what I did today. Let's say I decided to do a video with that, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's not going to happen because that activation sucked. But anyway, let's say next week I decide I'm going to throw that out on Thursday. From what I did today till next Thursday when I edit that thing, I have already increased myself so much better because I practice every single day. What else we got? This is fun.
Okay, I got one for you. When you're using a cornstalk antenna, is it better to use elevated radios with butter and salt or ground radios with plain butter? Plain with no butter. Excuse me.
Well, you know what? I'm going to hand that one over to Kevin and let Kevin answer that, because I've never personally used a cornstalk antenna, so I do not have any experience with that. But Kevin, if you go to his channel, could probably answer that right easy.
Eric said,
Kevin's the one. Okay, well, if Kevin's the one that answered it, I guess I got to come up with an answer. I'm going to say butter and salt is always better.
That's what I put too. Eric says just no mayo on the corn. Who the hell puts mayo on their corn?
That's probably some kind of Hawaiian delicacy.
Oh my God.
I mean, some third world country might do it,
And
And
it's got to be real butter, not this spray crap.
Yeah, I can't believe it's not butter.
No, we take a whole stick of butter and set it on the table and roll that corn around in it.
You've seen people put mayo on corn?
So some of Dan's family got him some peanut butter one time. It was Jif, and he put his spoon in it and he put it in his mouth. He's like, I can't believe it's not peanut butter.
I can't believe it's not peanut butter. I can't believe it's not the king of butter. You know, that reminds me, Eric, what they put on French fries in Holland. That's a good movie.
Mayonnaise on corn. That's got to be the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. I mean, I've learned something today too. People put mayonnaise on corn.
No, it could be worse. They could be using Miracle Whip.
Yeah, it's true. God. All right.
Oh, right.
It's a Hispanic thing. So, okay. Steven's pushing my buttons today, I swear. They pushed my buttons on the radios. Now he's pushing my buttons on FT8. Let me put it up here.
Anyway.
All right. No, we got to do this real quick. All right. FT8 is a weak signal mode, not a low power mode. I don't know what else I can say. I've run.
Okay. So yeah. Here we go on this.
Okay.
And thank you very much for the super chat. First off,
it is a weak signal mode, not a low power.
It is a weak signal mode, not a low power mode.
I have
but
now. Wait. Okay.
If you read your manual on your radio, it will tell you better limit your power on FT8 or you will mess your radio up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay, I'm not talking about that part of it. But because my radio doesn't go over 40 watts. Anyway, so but I have run FT8 at 1200 watts. I'll say it again for the folks in the back that are probably rolling over right now. I've run FT8 at 1200 watts. And what did I get for that effort? The guy gave me a negative 22 signal report. So at 1200 watts to him, I was still a weak signal. And it was a DX station that I needed for the DXCC. So 1200 watts was still a weak signal to him. Do I do it every day? No. Normally I run 35 to 40 watts on FT8. But if I see a station that I want, I'm gonna get it.
Just out of curiosity, what antenna do you run 1200 watts FT8 on?
A ZS6 BKW. So it's a center fed dipole. I'm a true dipole.
Okay, and my next question is, how many birds have you picked up outside laying there dead underneath your antenna?
All of them. I just don't leave them there on the ground.
All right, guys, we're getting close to the top hour. If anybody's got any more questions, speak now, forever hold your peace.
Yeah,
and we will include the great questions in the after chat, I'm sure. But you may want to be careful about the questions you hear in there.
Yeah, try FT4 instead. That was a good one. I myself, I love FT4. I really can't stand FT8, but
I don't know why people don't use FT4 more.
I don't know, but I wish.
I really don't know why people don't use FT4 more.
I agree.
Aiden trying to get back in, but
yeah, let's wait till this video comes back on here. Hey, buddy, did you run out of minutes? Oh, he dropped again.
I was going to say, we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Oh, my goodness. Playing peekaboo.
Somebody let me in.
Anyway, all right. So we are at the top of the hour. And we're going to start wrapping it up. It's been an interesting stream. I think we'll do this more often, especially on these weeks where I get last-minute trips and I get called out of somewhere or something, and I got to panic on a stream. So quite a lot of fun. I hope somebody learned some stuff tonight. And if you didn't, I feel like I wasted my time because I even did a presentation with the Poda page, man. But anyway.
You want us in the after chat?
If you didn't learn something, you should have asked a question.
You want us in the after chat, you will learn something.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Aiden, what do you got coming up, bud?
Coming up Saturday, Blue Knob State Park, Curtis KB3CMT is hosting the second annual Mid-Atlantic Poda Gathering. I'm going to be there, and a lot of other people are going to be there. So that's what I'm doing Saturday. I'm going to hunt the rest of the week and try and get France.
All right. Dan, what do you got coming up?
No, I think I might hunt a park or two. Maybe that Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November guy. Other than that, I don't have a lot going on, man. Same old, same old.
Roger. All right, for myself, I am going to try my darndest to get a video out tomorrow by 4 p.m. I'm not going to promise anything because I've got a lot of stuff going on here, but I will try my best to get that video out by 4 p.m. I'm going to be in after chat for a little bit this evening, and I will be at a park every day because that's what I do. I appreciate everybody with the super chats tonight, and I appreciate everything you guys do. I hope you guys learn stuff. I'm always learning from you guys as well. I appreciate y'all tonight, and thanks for coming by. 73.
73 guys.
73 guys, hit that like button.